Alrighty everybody, Logan ISL here, and welcome to another video. This week, I've been very busy, and for the next few weeks I am going to be busy because of school, and today I'm going to the amusement park, so I'm pretty much going to have no time, so I had to make this video very quickly. So I hope you understand this video is completely unscripted, so it might not sound as good as normal, but if you enjoy these unscripted rants, and want to see more of them, let me know, because I feel like this is the best way to be down to earth when it comes to talking about, you know, certain issues I have for the game and things that are handicapping me in general, because I'm going to talk about how there's been a new trend in JToH that's actually been causing problems for me as a player that might very well cause a bunch of problems for the future of me as a player as an entire whole. So yeah, I hope you understand. Let's go ahead and get right into this. So I'm going to ask you a quick question. What does questionable trials, bent trauma, and bloodthirsty Kinos have in common? These are three towers inside of Ring 9 that are drastically different from each other, but all three of these have something in common. I'll give you a few seconds to go ahead and find out what it is, but yeah, I'll just give you a couple seconds here. You think you could find it out? Well, all three of these towers have all or nothing elements at the end of them, and I guess like this has been a little bit of a trend lately in JToH, where we're seeing towers now that are like the more difficult ones anyway, have these extensive final outsides that if you fail them, that you're pretty much done, and that you're unable to go ahead and get any progress, and you have no choice but to pretty much reset. Ring 9 has so many different towers, and I'm not just talking about like towers with them at the very end. Like, there are so many different towers in Ring 9 that have outsides at the very end. Like, the only tower that comes, there's only two towers at the moment that come to my mind. That is Togo and JToH, that don't have really stupid outsides at the end of them. And you could even say that JToH does, because of 7 and 8, but, you know. But JToH has its own issue with 9 and 10, but I'm kind of getting off topic here. So, this has been a very new trend, and it's becoming increasingly more common, where we're seeing that multiple towers are putting these outsides right at the very end. And this has been causing issues for me as a player. And it definitely is causing problems because, for those of you who do not know, I do have a history of heart issues. And this is why I am very conscious when it comes to my nerves and stuff. For those of you who were there during my bent trauma stream, you would know that I sat a couple minutes before I went ahead and got the mic to go ahead and continue and do the final stretch. For those of you who do not know, in 2019, I got hospitalized due to a very serious heart condition that I'll save that story for another day, because we'll talk about that in the future, because it is important on some topics that I want to talk about. But essentially what you need to know is that this is something that I personally have had, and it's really starting to cause issues for me as a player. For me, now, because after getting back from the hospital and stuff, being treated with the heart surgery I had, it's still really hard for me to feel comfortable being at really high heart rates, because it's kind of like hitting the past trauma in my brain, like, yo, like, your heart rate is dangerously high. So it's very hard for me to play a tower when I'm very nervous, because it kind of like gets my post-trauma to kind of like tell me to stop. But honestly, if I'm really real with you, that's mainly just a mentality problem, and I'm sure over time it will get better. And I'll be honest, over time it actually has gotten better. But for me, the issue I actually have that's the real problem is the shaking. I have bad shaking issues when it comes to getting near the end of towers. I mean, if you watch my bent trauma push to terrifying, when I'm doing the final stretch attempts, you can see very easily I'm having shaking problems. And, well, that's the main reason why I'm slowing down. And so I might be going, well, Logan, like, why are you concerned about this? Well, the thing is that this has been getting me to a point where I'm questioning on what towers that I should play, because I really want to not do something stupid, you know? Like, I think it's dumb to push myself to feel uncomfortable and stupid just because I want to beat a JToH tower. And it's gotten to be a huge problem for me. I've been feeling immensely uncomfortable and very worried that slowly over time that all the towers are going to have these massive outsides at the end because they think they're really funny. And here's the thing, I'm not saying that I don't want towers to have final outsides at all. In fact, I think that some towers have very good reasons to have final outsides. Like Bent Trauma and Bloodthirsty Kinos, I think is completely cool and all. But when you're starting to get into a point where it's like, I'm going to put a really punishing outside just to be funny with you, when it comes to something like questionable trials, that's when I get mad. Because for Bloodthirsty Kinos, it's there for a reason. Because the tower is pretty much safety net heaven. So it needs something else in order to incorporate its difficulty a little more, in my opinion. But when it's just like, ooh, here's an outside to be funny, that's when I get mad. And it's just really starting to concern me. And a lot of the issue is that I have the might to go high up the chart. It's just there are towers that I definitely have declined trying due to me worried about the nerves that I'm going to get. And a great example of this is generation failure. People are inevitably going to ask in the future if I get way better and complete the Push to Terrifying project, which we'll talk about in a minute, about like, oh, Logan, like, you know, when are you going to do generation failure? And the answer is never. Like, I have looked at generation failure, and that is a disaster waiting to happen. Like, 3 floors of constant pressure and, like, all or nothing elements is just something that I don't want to deal with. And it's something that has been, like, really annoying for me, is that this whole thing has been starting to handicap me as a player, and it has genuinely started to cause problems. So I don't feel comfortable doing generation failure. In fact, there's only one tower that's harder than tons that I feel like I can have a decent plan for. And even then, I don't know how I would feel playing that tower in particular. But, you know, this is something that I don't need to worry about right now. I mean, my hardest is Thanos Tower, because, let's be real, the way I did astronomically aimless annoyances was just absolutely cruel. So, I mean, I really don't see the whole preface of this is I don't think creators understand that there are people like me who do have these issues with their health, and that these final parts are genuinely concerning. And I honestly don't think final outside parts are funny or needed. I just see it as unnecessary and disrespectful to the player. And this is going back onto where, you know, I'm talking about, like, good final outsides and ones that are bad. Like, Bent Trauma's final outside is, like, that's part of the tower, you know? Like, I don't know how to explain it, and, well, we got Bloodthirsty Kinos as well, but it's like, I hate it when towers nowadays, and it's becoming increasingly common. It's just like, ooh, here's an outside that's, like, really long and at the very end, and it's like, you've got to be kidding me. And it's really freaking annoying. Like, tons, it's in the name. Nervous sweating. I completely get it. And we're gonna now get onto issues with the Push to Terrifying project. But, yeah, you know. But the way I see tons is that it's just, like, it overstays itself. It's like, yeah, the whole joke is for the tower to be really nerve-wracking and intense, but it's like, how many different parts of floor 10 jut out over the edge? And it's, like, really long? Like, come on. It's like, there's a difference between, like, good nerves, like Bent Trauma, to me, and, like, just going ahead and being a jerk about it. And, well, Tons is very old, and I'm not picking on this tower in specific, but Tons is definitely one of the worst ones, and it's definitely questioned me if I should do Tons as my tower I do in Push to Terrifying or not, because I'm genuinely concerned about what it's going to be like. So I, for now, do have plans to do Tons. However, I'm going to be very diligent about my health and be heavily supervised during it. I actually do have a heart rate monitor, but I don't have the strap for it, so it's essentially useless without the strap. So I think when it's time for me to do Tons, I will invest in a new heart rate monitor. And when it comes to doing floor 10 and stuff, I'm going to be keeping myself in check. I would rather spend 2 hours doing a floor 10 attempt, taking it nice and slow, than pushing myself a little too hard and risk having issues. So, but yeah, this is a trend that's been causing issues with me, and I personally really want to see it stop. But I want to hear what you guys think, because this is obviously kind of biased. Like, you know, I have health issues, so it's like I want to see these go away. But do you guys like these final out signs, or are you starting to feel like that the joke's kind of getting a little old, you know? So, alright, that's pretty much all I have to say. Sorry for the lazy upload. We'll get back into good uploads next week. But thank you everybody very much for watching, and have a good rest of your weekend, day, or whatnot. See you later. Bye-bye.